Funnily enough, I haven't seen yet a statement from Downing Street wondering whether the person who stabbed him may have got their knife on Amazon.
Yeah, well, I did a quick research myself this morning whilst I was waiting to come on the show. I typed in machete UK, and whilst I wasn't able to get an actual machete, right, I was able to get any number of knives which would be every bit as good as a machete. No combination, nothing at all. No. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. You can buy a lethal weapon and get it through the post with Amazon Prime by tomorrow at 12, and there you are. You're all set out. You're all set up to go out and do a bit of lethal destruction. It's utterly outrageous, Mike, how easy it is to get and to carry a lethal weapon. Now, one of the powers that the police have, it's called the Section 60 power of stop and search. Yeah. Normally, with stop and search, you have to have reasonable suspicion that there's something on the person. But with Section 60, you don't. All you have to do is have a suspicion that because of the demographic, the time, the place, or whatever, the person might be carrying a lethal weapon upon them. Now, we've had this power for quite some time now. The problem is police aren't using it. Right. They're not using it enough. And the reason they're not using it enough, and this will come as quite a surprise to you, Mike, I've no doubt, is that Her Majesty's Inspector of Constabulary have told the police that they must be more concerned about being racist, being accused of racist, than they are about actually finding and removing illegal knives on the street. When your concern is with how you look, when your concern is when you don't want to mar your statistics because you've stop and searched one more black person than a white person, then there's a consequence to that. And the consequence to that is that the police are fearful, and that the person with the knife wanders around the streets knowing full well that they are very unlikely to be stopped and searched. Yeah, that's the problem that we have. We need the police to. We don't necessarily need more powers. We need the police to be confident in the powers that they have.
Well, exactly. And I mean, Keir Starmer said the other day, didn't he, in Downing Street, when he was talking about this Southport case, that, you know, we need to be able to now investigate matters, report matters, and indeed arrest people without cultural sensitivities getting in the way. Now, he said that. Why doesn't he say that to the police?
I've no idea. I've absolutely no idea. People are far more concerned about not being called racist or not being called Islamophobic than they are of actually stopping knife crime and preventing black people, black children, from being stabbed to death. Yeah. I mean, if we think about,
well, it's not just black children. I mean, little Leo is a white child. There's any number of children being stabbed every single day. Fortunately, a lot of them don't die. And to your point about Amazon and with the ease with which you can get a knife through the post, you don't even have to do that. You can just get a knife from your kitchen drawer, or you can get a knife, you can nick a knife from Tesco's. You know, you don't need to worry about actually getting it through the mail, do you?
No, absolutely not. But the police have got to get over themselves. They've got to stop worrying about DEI concerns. They need to grow a backbone, get over themselves, and do their job. I love the way that Trump has just laid into the whole DEI thing in the United States. It was absolutely brutal. Yeah. And we need that kind of brutality in this country. We need to close down every single DEI office in the country.
Well, he's put them all on leave. He's taken the entire, everyone in any government job which is related to DEI, he's put them all on annual leave.
Yeah, absolutely, with a view to sacking him, because he's going to close them down, and that's what we need to do in this country. So, and certainly with the police, we cannot have a police force that are far more concerned about being seen to do a non-racist thing. We've got to get rid of all that. We've got to get rid of all that. We need to take a view that if you are a police officer and you are racist, we kick you out. But the fear of racism should not prevent police officers from going out there and doing their job. And at the moment, it is causing them to go out there and not do their job. Yeah. And the consequence of that is that people are getting stabbed. Knife crime is up by 4%. Within the next 15 years, the number of deaths will have doubled as a consequence of knife crime, and we need to get a grip. One of the things that we need to do, we need a college of policing that actually teaches police officers how to police. Because at the moment we have a college of policing that teaches police officers how not to police. Yes. It teaches police officers how to be woke. It teaches police officers how to fill in forms. What it doesn't do is teach police officers how to go out there and stop crime before it happens and nab criminals by the scruff of the neck when they dare commit a crime. And this is the consequence of having a fearful police force.
Yes, absolutely right. Speaking, let me just draw you away from that for a minute and ask you about Plymouth, because I think we may have some pictures, I don't know if we have yet, coming in from Plymouth. There was some kind of attack last night around about 9 p.m. On Wednesday night. A person was found seriously injured in the street. Some reports say it's a young woman. It's in the West Hoe area of Plymouth. Basically, an awful lot of police cars. I mean, it looks like a very big incident because you've got multiple numbers of police cars. I've seen footage of 12 or 13 police cars, all with blue flashing lights. I've seen pictures of armed police who appear to be wearing body armour, searching in a sort of block of flats looking for a suspect. They still haven't found the suspect, but it looks to me like quite a serious situation. I don't know if you've noticed it online at all.
No, I've not noticed that online. But, you know, if the police are there in force in numbers with the blue lights flashing and there are an armed officer there, they're great. That is the police doing their job. And what we want is more of this, far, far more of this. Less DEI, less being concerned about statistics, and more active policing.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not a criminal, you've nothing to fear, have you?
No.
I don't mind if they stop and search me every day of the week because I'm carrying nothing on me.
Right. Well, I was in London. I live in London. I mean, I was on the tube the other day, right? And I was coming up through the gates, as you do, into London Bridge Station, and I could hear a sort of, you know, noise behind me, a sort of gaggle of 5 or 6 youths, you might say. They were all black. They basically steamed through the, you know, the gate where you're supposed to go if you've got a pushchair. One of them had a ticket, obviously the others didn't, and they were looking to their left to see if anybody was bothering to stop them. Nobody did. And they were having a great time. They were having a laugh. They were, you know, being daring and all of that. And part of me thought, well, they're just, you know, hijinks and all that. But it's lawless. It's completely lawless, and they don't care because they know nobody's going to stop them.
Yeah, and that's because, as I say, we have a police force which is suffering a chronic crisis of confidence. But part of the problem is that police officers are being encouraged to dob other police officers in for the most stupid, ridiculous things. I mentioned on your show a few weeks ago, if you've got a mug in your office that says something like, as I said to you before, if you've got a mug that says, in God we trust, everyone else can stop and search, then you are bad appled by your colleagues, and you can find yourselves being investigated. We have to get rid of this culture of fear within the police force, because it translates to a culture of boldness amongst the criminal fraternity out on the streets. We need a confident police force. We need a police force that the public back. We need a police force that the bosses of the police back, and the college back, and the HMIC back. Otherwise, we're going to have a police force which is ineffective because it is so terrified of doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, exactly right.